Rejection. It's a word that sends chills down most of our spines. Whether it's a job you didn't land, a relationship that didn't work out, or even that unanswered text from someone you were excited about, rejection has a way of shaking us to our core. It makes us question everything. Am I not good enough? Did I make a mistake? Why does this keep happening to me? Sound familiar? You're not alone. Rejection hurts because it feels personal, like a spotlight on our flaws or shortcomings. But here's the thing. Rejection isn't the enemy. It's a natural, inevitable part of life, and no one escapes it. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, J.K. Rowling, faced rejection so many times it would make your head spin. What sets them apart isn't that they avoided rejection, it's how they handled it. Think about it. What if rejection wasn't a wall stopping you, but a bridge leading you somewhere better? What if every no you hear today is just setting you up for a bigger, more meaningful yes tomorrow? In this guide, I'll share 10 powerful ways to handle rejection, not just survive it, but use it as a tool to grow, improve, and ultimately thrive. If you've ever felt crushed by a closed door or stuck in a cycle of self-doubt, stick with me. By the end, you'll see rejection in a whole new light. It's not here to break you, it's here to build you, ready to turn rejection into your greatest teacher. Let's dive in. Number 1. Accept your emotions and feel them fully. Rejection hurts, and it's okay to acknowledge that. The first step in handling rejection is allowing yourself to feel the emotions it brings. Whether it's sadness, frustration, embarrassment, or anger, suppressing these feelings only delays healing. Recognize that experiencing such emotions is normal and human. Write in a journal to express how you feel or talk to someone you trust. Labeling your emotions, like saying, "I feel disappointed," can help you make sense of them. Avoid judging yourself for being upset. Emotions are part of growth. Instead of rushing to get over it, sit with the discomfort. Understand what triggered the intensity of your feelings. Was it a fear of failure, loss of opportunity, or self-doubt? By understanding the roots of your reaction, you can begin to address them. Embrace the idea that healing is a process. Cry if you need to. Scream into a pillow. Go for a long walk. Whatever helps you let the emotions flow without bottling them up is valid. Once you've felt your feelings, you'll be in a better position to move forward. Rejection isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you cared enough to try. Number 2. Avoid taking rejection personally. When faced with rejection, it's easy to internalize it as a reflection of your self-worth. However, rejection is often more about circumstances, preferences, or external factors than it is about you. For example, being passed over for a job might have nothing to do with your abilities. The company may have chosen someone with different qualifications or an internal candidate. It's important to separate your sense of identity from the outcome. Remind yourself that rejection happens to everyone. Even the most successful people face setbacks. Oprah was fired early in her career, and J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter manuscript was rejected multiple times. Did that mean they weren't talented or capable? Not at all. Avoid labeling yourself as not good enough because of one rejection. Instead, remind yourself that rejection is situational, not personal. Keep in mind that everyone views things through their own subjective lens. Rejection often reflects the other person's priorities, needs, or preferences rather than your value. By not taking it personally, you free yourself from unnecessary self-criticism and maintain a healthy perspective. Number 3. Seek constructive feedback. Rejection can feel like a dead end, but it doesn't have to be. In many situations, especially professional ones, You can turn rejection into a learning opportunity by seeking feedback. When asking for feedback, approach the situation calmly and with an open mind. Avoid being defensive, as the goal is to gain insights for improvement. For example, if you didn't get a job, politely ask the interviewer for specific reasons or suggestions for future opportunities. Similarly, in creative or academic rejections, constructive criticism can reveal areas where you can refine your work. Use this feedback to pinpoint areas for growth. Remember, feedback is not criticism of your entire being, but rather an opportunity to refine specific aspects of your approach. Once you receive feedback, reflect on how you can apply it. Maybe you need to enhance a skill, better tailor your proposals, or improve your presentation style. Seeking feedback also demonstrates resilience and a willingness to learn, which are valuable qualities in any field. Embrace the mindset that rejection, coupled with actionable feedback, can be a stepping stone to future success. Number 4. Reframe rejection as redirection. Instead of viewing rejection as a failure, consider it as life steering you in a new direction. Often the things we perceive as setbacks turn out to be opportunities for growth or alignment with better paths. Reflect on past rejections that led you to unexpected successes or lessons. For example, a relationship that ended might have taught you what you truly need in a partner. A job you didn't get might have opened the door to a more fulfilling career path. Reframing rejection as redirection requires shifting your mindset from "I lost" to "What's next?" Focus on what the experience taught you. Did you discover something about yourself, your priorities, or your aspirations? This mindset shift helps you stay hopeful and resilient, even when things don't go as planned. Life often has a way of surprising us, and rejection can be a nudge towards something even better. By embracing rejection as redirection, you empower yourself to move forward with optimism and confidence in the journey ahead. Number 5. Focus on what you can control. Rejection often highlights factors outside your control, like someone else's decision or preferences. Dwelling on these uncontrollable elements can lead to frustration and a sense of helplessness. Instead, redirect your focus to what you can influence. For instance, if you didn't get a job, ask yourself, how can I improve my skills? Is there a way to strengthen my resume or practice interview techniques? Similarly, in relationships, you can't control someone else's feelings, but you can work on self-improvement and understanding your own needs. Taking action restores a sense of empowerment and helps you move forward constructively. Create a list of tangible steps to address areas you want to grow in. This proactive approach not only helps you deal with rejection, but also builds confidence in your ability to handle future challenges. Remember, your response to rejection is entirely within your control. Focus on growing, learning, and preparing for the next opportunity. Number 6. Build emotional resilience through practice. Emotional resilience is like a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it becomes. Facing rejection repeatedly might seem daunting, but over time, it builds your capacity to cope and recover. Start by deliberately placing yourself in situations where the outcome is uncertain and rejection is a possibility. For instance, try pitching an idea at work, applying for a competitive program, or asking someone for advice or help. These small risks train your mind to view rejection as a normal part of life rather than something to fear. When rejection happens, remind yourself that it's temporary and doesn't define you. Each experience helps desensitize you to the initial sting, making future rejections easier to handle. Over time, you'll notice that rejection no longer feels as overwhelming. Resilience also involves learning how to self-soothe after rejection. Develop coping mechanisms like practicing mindfulness, meditating, or engaging in creative outlets. These habits help ground you and maintain perspective. Remember, the goal isn't to avoid rejection entirely. It's to build the strength to bounce back faster and with greater confidence every time. Number 7. Surround yourself with supportive people. Rejection can feel isolating, but leaning on your support network can make all the difference. Reach out to friends, family, or mentors who understand your struggles and can offer encouragement. Talking to someone about your experience can help you process your emotions and see things from a different perspective. Supportive people remind you of your strengths and worth, even when you're doubting yourself. They can also provide practical advice or share their own stories of overcoming rejection, which can inspire you to keep going. Be intentional about surrounding yourself with positivity. Avoid people who belittle your feelings or downplay your experience. Instead, seek those who lift you up and help you refocus on your goals. Don't be afraid to ask for help or simply for someone to listen. Connection is a powerful antidote to the loneliness rejection can bring. Additionally, consider joining communities or groups aligned with your interests or aspirations. These spaces often provide encouragement, shared experiences, and opportunities to grow. Remember, you're not alone. Others have faced rejection and come out stronger, and so can you. Number 8. Practice self-compassion. One of the most important steps in handling rejection is being kind to yourself. It's easy to spiral into self-criticism, blaming yourself for not being good enough or capable. Instead, practice self-compassion by treating yourself with the same empathy and understanding you'd offer a friend in a similar situation. Remind yourself that rejection is a universal experience. Everyone faces it at some point. It doesn't mean you're a failure or unworthy. It simply means this particular opportunity wasn't the right fit. Engage in self-affirming activities to rebuild your confidence. Write down 3 things you love about yourself or reflect on past achievements to remind yourself of your value. Avoid dwelling on what you perceive as flaws or mistakes. Instead, focus on what makes you unique and capable. Self-compassion also involves self-care. After experiencing rejection, prioritize activities that bring you joy and relaxation, like spending time in nature, pursuing hobbies, or pampering yourself. By treating yourself with kindness and care, you'll recover more quickly and maintain a positive outlook for future opportunities. Number 9. Reflect and adjust your approach. Rejection can be a valuable learning experience if you take the time to reflect on it thoughtfully. Instead of viewing it as a dead end, treat it as an opportunity to reassess your approach. Ask yourself questions like, what went well in this situation? What could I improve? Were there specific factors I overlooked? Reflection allows you to identify areas for growth and develop strategies for improvement. For instance, if you were rejected from a job, consider whether your application highlighted your strengths effectively. If a relationship didn't work out, reflect on what it taught you about your needs and boundaries. Once you've identified potential improvements, take actionable steps to address them. This might involve seeking additional training, refining your communication skills, or practicing self-awareness. Remember that rejection doesn't mean you're incapable. It means there's room to grow. Adjusting your approach demonstrates resilience and a willingness to learn. Each time you refine your strategy, you increase your chances of success in the future. View rejection as part of the process, not the end of the journey. Number 10. Celebrate your effort, not just the outcome. Rejection often overshadows the courage it took to try in the first place. Instead of focusing solely on the outcome, take pride in the effort you put forth. Stepping outside your comfort zone requires bravery, and that alone is worth celebrating. Reflect on what you accomplished, even if the result wasn't what you hoped for. Did you learn something new? Did you gain experience or insight? These are victories in their own right. By shifting your focus from the end result to the process, you build a more resilient mindset. Celebrate small wins along the way, like submitting an application, giving a presentation, or simply having the courage to ask for what you want. Acknowledge the progress you've made, regardless of external validation. This approach not only helps you cope with rejection, but also motivates you to keep pursuing your goals. Remember, every effort brings you closer to success, even if it doesn't happen immediately. By celebrating your journey, you turn rejection into a stepping stone rather than a roadblock. Rejection may sting, but it doesn't have to define you. In fact, it can be your greatest ally in the journey toward growth and success. By learning how to process, reflect, and adapt, you're not just bouncing back, you're leveling up. Remember, every successful person you admire has stood where you are now, faced rejection head-on, and kept going. That resilience? It's a skill you can master too. So, which of these strategies will you try first? Have you experienced a rejection that taught you something valuable or changed your life for the better? I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories in the comments below. And if this resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend who might need a little encouragement. Rejection can feel isolating, but together we can shift the narrative and turn setbacks into comebacks. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, because this is just the beginning. In future posts, we'll dive even deeper into building resilience, finding motivation, and thriving in the face of life's challenges. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, keep pushing forward. Remember, rejection isn't the end. It's just the start of something better. See you in the next one.